who might very well be 032. It wouldn't be surprising if he came to Korea to meet our boy. The scene then cuts back to Jin, who is stretching his fingers to make sure they're working properly. His mind flashes back to a memory of the kidnapper woman who seemed to recognize him as someone familiar. He has no clue who she was, but if she knows him by his mercenary name, maybe she isn't related to the camp. Suddenly his phone rings, and when he looks at the screen, he sees that it's Yona calling. A while later, Jin finds himself outside a convenience store. Not surprisingly, Yona is there too, and they have heaps of triangle kimbap spread out on their table. The girl then quickly points out that she didn't have dinner and was craving triangle kimbap, but Seokju still thinks to himself that this much food seems like a lot. Nonetheless, she also invites him to dig into the meal, since she is sure that he also did not have dinner either. She quickly opens one of the kimbaps, while mentioning that she heard he got hurt pretty badly, and asks if he's okay now. He replies that he is. She then explains that she went to see him at the hospital, but they said he couldn't have visitors and wouldn't let her in, and Jie also told her not to visit him right now. She admits she was really worried since he was absent from school yesterday. Jin explains that Grandpa told him to take the day off. Yona finds it touching how he really listens to his grandpa, but then she gets a bit dejected while mentioning how he had to rescue Jie single-handedly from the life-threatening danger. In response, Jin says that's not entirely true, and clarifies that the leader of Security Team 2 was the one who did everything. Team 2's leader tracked them down, acted as a liaison with the police and SW security team, and even created a diversion when he was shot so that Jin could escape. The leader stayed behind until the very end to ensure Jin could get to safety. Without his support, our boy admits he wouldn't have been able to do anything for Jie. Yona looks a bit awkward hearing the truth, probably because she wasn't expecting our boy to explain everything thoroughly. Seokju agrees that if what Jin says is true, then the team leader was indeed the one who carried out the rescue. Jin quickly agrees with his friend, but Seokju points out that the team leader wouldn't have been able to pull this rescue mission alone as well, and the report clearly shows how much Jin contributed to rescuing Jie. Our boy then highlights that they're essentially a team, and the goal is to ensure the VIP's safety, not to figure out who made the greatest contribution. Seokju nods, saying that's absolutely right. Yona feels a bit out of place, probably because this isn't the kind of talk she's used to. Just then, Jin's phone rings, and when he checks it, Yona asks what's up and if something's wrong. Jin sheepishly admits that they need him at the game room, because Jaehyun just texted him that they need an extra person and that he should hurry over. But Yona reminds him that he's still injured and questions how he's going to play with his hand like that. Jin clarifies that it doesn't really matter because he's pretty awful anyway. Yona is once again a bit unsettled by his bluntness. The scene then transitions to Daeyeon walking down the footpath, thinking about getting something to eat for Jin. Her thoughts drift back to a past memory where a bunch of girls surrounded Yona, asking why Jin hadn't been in school for the past few days. Yona explained that he was away on a trip and had injured his hands a bit. The girls were startled and asked if it was anything serious. Yona reassured them that it wasn't. The girls quickly become cheerful, saying they're glad it's nothing serious, and that it wasn't his face that got injured because they can't let a face like his get scarred. Yona quietly agrees while thinking about how it seems like Jin has become more and more popular lately. Suddenly, Daeyeon hears some voices nearby. When she looks in the direction of the commotion, she sees a group of thugs. She begins to panic when she realizes there's no one around to ask for help. But when she takes a closer look, she recognizes one of the thugs as the same guy who tried to ask her for her number earlier. Her mind flashes back to that encounter, and she remembers that he didn't seem like a mean person, so he might listen to her. So, she musters up the courage, approaches the group, and nervously stutters out an excuse to grab their attention. At first, the harasser responds sharply and cockily, asking who the hell it is. However, his face goes pale with anxiety when he realizes it's the same girl he tried to harass. He then frantically starts explaining to her that this isn't what it looks like, and claims that this dude had a run-in with them first while they were just passing by, and this dude just started demanding for some food. Daeyeon apologizes on this dude's behalf and asks if they can let him go. The harasser clearly isn't thrilled about doing what she's demanding, but eventually they start to walk away. She then turns to the hoodie guy, asking if he's alright. The hoodie guy is startled at first, but then quickly asks if she could buy him some food. Shortly after, they're sitting outside, and it's clear the man has devoured a lot of triangle kimbap like a hungry hound, and he still can be seen chomping down over the last remaining he has left. After that, he gulps down a bottle of water, and once his belly is full, he feels as if he is swimming over the clouds. Daeyeon watches him with curiosity, while the guy quickly apologizes, explaining that he didn't mean to bother her, but he was just so hungry that he couldn't resist asking for some food. Daeyeon reassures him it's no big deal, and the guy explains that he lost his wallet as soon as he got into the country, so he hasn't eaten for a few days. She then reminds him that he should have asked the embassy for help, and the boy feels kind of an idiot for simply not doing that. The girl then checks her phone and realizes it's gotten late, and Jin must be waiting for her to get home. So she quickly offers this boy some money, saying it's just a little something in case he gets hungry again. With that, she starts running off in a hurry, leaving the guy curious about her. We can clearly see this dude is 032 we've been hearing about, and by the way, he looks quite feminine, so don't be surprised if he turns out to be a girl later in the story.